Okay, so 5-color Niv Ephemerate. This is a run back. This is our second time playing this deck on stream. The first time we played it, it worked out very reasonably. We're going to see if it was a fluke here today, or if we can have lightning strike twice here. So a couple of decisions going on in this deck that I really liked last time we played it. The first is, we've got this energy package that you don't see a ton of in this format, but felt very reasonable when we played this deck the first time. Attune with the Aether helps us fix our 5-color mana base while giving us a little bit of energy. And this energy kind of provides double fixing in a way. So not only does Attune with the Aether find us a basic, but it allows us to play Aether Hub as a land that provides even further fixing past that. Rogue Refiner, a 3/2 for 3 that draws a card, is a fine rate, and it makes some energy, which makes Aether Hub happen again consistently. Voltaic Brawler, we're not an aggro deck, but this makes energy for Aether Hub, and this card trades reasonably. So, a 3/2 stat line means it trades with things like Groll Spellbreaker frequently, for example. And then our energy payoff outside of Aether Hub in this deck is Whirler Virtuoso. 2/3 for 3, gets 3 power when it comes into play, and then you can pay 3 power to make a 1/1 Thopter token. So this card lets us apply pressure against combo and control, and it is a card that lets us stall the board against aggro so we can live to our more powerful effects. We've got, the deck's headlining card here at the top end, Niv-Mizzet Reborn, which lets us generate card advantage, fishing up various things out of the deck. And then we've got copies of Ephemerate here, which lets us blink our various cards for value multiple times. If you've never ephemerated a Niv-Mizzet Reborn, boy, let me tell you, is it a lot of cards you get to draw when you do that in back-to-back turns. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games here with this and see how this feels today, see if it can perhaps be reasonable the second time through, or if we got a little bit lucky last time. Our deck doesn't really have a lot of large creatures, which means the blue-green denial card is largely just going to be a bad counterspell. I think if we felt like we needed counterspells, I'd play Dovin's Veto. I'd play Dovin's Veto before that. So, I have my colors of mana, because I have Hub with an Attune, but I don't have any plays before the 4th turn of the game, so I think we mulligan this. What is Scape Shift Aggro? You can check that out by checking out the stream queue on my website. There are links to deck lists we're likely playing later in there. Not an amazing hand here, but definitely in the range of keepable. Especially at 5. Jeff, you review the game your kids play and parent. I thought in America we blamed the game and movie industry. It took no responsibility. Yeah. Yeah, believe it or not, I am acutely more aware of the games that my children are engaging with than my parents were. In a lot of ways, my kids will be better off than I was growing up, especially in the world of technology. When millennials were growing up, our parents were learning technology at the same time we were, right? And I have to imagine the various issues and feel-bads and bad days related to social media that I had over the years growing up would have been less bad if I had people to help me understand best practices going into platforms like that. Feel like I'll be able to help my kids navigate those territories a lot better. They don't have to fumble through it themselves like I did. They won't be new anymore. Alright, so Guardmage is good here against the aggro deck. I think I want this just because it's a 4/4 stat line. That might not be true, though. Scarab God's kind of slow and awkward. Krasis is pretty slow. This is plenty of card advantage. Maybe I don't want the Klothys here. Twitter didn't exist when you were a kid. I created my Twitter account in 2007 when I was 16. I created my Facebook account in 2004 when I was 13, I believe. 13 sounds right. As many Ephemerates is probably unnecessary. Yeah, it's probably some of this top end that I gotta give up here. Split the difference from one of each of these legendaries. Maybe it was 2005. It was one of I remember I had one of the first accounts after they opened it up to non-university people. What was the year? The timelines are blurry. What was the year they opened it? They opened it to people without accounts. It was 2006. Okay, so 15 then. There you go. Ah, MySpace. Spending hours customizing HTML code and assuring others that even if they didn't make your top 8, you were still friends with them. It was more than a decade ago, thus it was the nebulous past. I got an email from the college that I did my undergrad at, that my advisor from the program I did there was retiring. And that the program was 13 years old, and I was one of the first people that did the program there. It's just like, gosh. It's been a while. It's getting timed out before sharing your resub Pico Glandia Twitch chat. It is, Lux. Thanks for the 2 months. Welcome back. Alright, so I think we Rogue Refiner this turn. Like Druid Rogue Refiner. Because this can trade with the Brawler here. Ooh, Ephemerate. Ephemerate on the Elite Guard is going to be good. Paid for text messages. Yeah, I remember upgrading to the unlimited text messaging plan being a big deal. Klothys is really good. Long distance technically still exists, right? If you're using a traditional landline, it very really exists if you're using a traditional landline device. Obviously, it doesn't exist if you're using a digital media. Do we draw Yorion or do we play another Whirler? I'm kind of into playing another Whirler. We get 3/1/1s here. Hey, look at all these things that don't die to stomp. See, Kaladesh should have been the set after Eldraine, chat. With Kaladesh, we would have had creatures that were playable against Bone Crusher Giant. Tarix, thanks for 11 months. I appreciate that. Good morning, good morning. We need Reflector Mage. need Reflector Mage. Actually, I think we just take 4 here, because next turn I can draw and play Yorion, right? And I want to blink these. I think I want to do this turn. Yeah, because to do this, I have to tap a Druid. I think I'm gonna need to chump with some of these this turn, so I want to blink them now. It's a little bit less exciting than Niving, but I think it's correct. We might have enough life gain here to outgrind this Klothys, which is impressive. Cleave's a little scary, but we're also at a high enough life total that we can take a hit from it. For a turn. I don't even know that we're dead to Cleave here. I think we start here, huh? Should we kill the ooze before it grows into a real boy? Yeah, maybe. I don't know, they don't have that much green mana, right? We just, like, do this and then try and kill them next turn, huh? I think we're at the point where we pivot. I guess killing the ooze would have helped us pivot faster, because it would have denied them life gain. Game. I think I'm happy with how we sideboarded. Let's run it back. Neil Giraffe Tyson, thank you for the entire year of support. Welcome back. My little Toriel, thanks for the 3/4 of a year. All right, that was the easy game, chat. That was the game where we were on the play. Now we gotta try and win one on the draw. This hand's pretty reasonable for winning one on the draw. We get to go tap Temple into Aether Hub, Helix something, into Island Rogue Refiner, charge the hub back up. Also want the best mid-range standard deck is right now. I don't intend to play standard again until Eldraine rotates. We played like 2.5 games of standard and I was off it. This deck is costly. No, Rogue Refiner's an uncommon, chat. This deck's super cheap. Yikes. It's my favorite limited format, cube. That's a good one. That's a good one. Swap these out here real quick. Well, unfortunately, we've died. Not a whole lot we could do here. Just how the magic cookie crumbles sometimes. You want to see a good cube at MTGA? They just hit a cube. It was very reasonable. Anyone explain why you're getting gems from Strix packs if you don't have all the rares? Are you only missing archives? Because archives occupy a separate slot from the normal rare in the pack. So archives hit gems separately. You could be getting gems from the normal. There's 2 dreams and Strix I don't have. Well, you're either getting gems because you have all the archives or because you have all the normal rares. There's two different ways to get archives from the set. This one actually isn't very good against us. It's like a fine stat line still, but in terms of like what it does to our deck, it doesn't really impact us much. You should not play the ladder if you're 52. Yeah, if you're 52 and you want the qualification, I would stop playing. Constructed, I would play the constructed events instead. We should hopefully bigger fish green-white company, I agree. That's brutal about this. It's a good draw. Above average, you could argue. The opponent's archetype is one of the established best decks in the format for people that haven't been keeping up with this one. I think that's fine. With the Archon, I don't really need extra mana anyways. I'm going to go ahead and Ephemerate this Niv, and I'm putting a stop on my upkeep because if I hit Lightning Helix with this, I can kill the Archon and then rebound it to this still. Perfect. So the Archon says I can only cast 1 spell per turn, but I can respond to this trigger by killing this, and now I can cast multiple spells this turn. this is pretty unlucky. I have to choose between all these cards instead of getting to draw all of them. Pretty unfortunate. Alright, so we've got 4 mana here. Means I can only cast 1 more card. Means I'm going to have to discard 2 cards at end of turn. Also unlucky, having to discard 2 cards to hand size. You know, maybe I'm supposed to... Oh, I could have played 2 cards, right? I could have played Helix and Brawler. Yeah, I think I actually messed this up here. I should have Helixed the Scavenging Ooze and played the Brawler. Opponents decided they don't want to wait for me to play. That's probably a smart idea. I don't think they're coming back from that. Forest confirmed busted. Do I want Elite Guardmage? Probably not. Seems fine. I guess this card gets outclassed. Elite Guardmage is better than that. They have a lot of 2/3 flyers. Blocking in the air doesn't seem terrible. Attune with the Aether was previously banned, to be fair to our opponent. I mulligan that first hand looking for a piece of ramp, getting kind of punished here. No, request granted. Let's draw some lands. Meddling Mages are for the combo matchups. It was Attune with the Aether Man during its stay in Standard. If we hit the land by turn 3 here, it might have been okay. But definitely not getting it when we miss on 3. Is justice for being greedy? I wasn't greedy at all. I actually took a very conservative mulligan on my 7. Mulliganing a hand that didn't do anything until turn 3. If anything, that was a punishment for being conservative. And wouldn't the world be a better place if there was more of that? This hand needs a couple of lands, but it is very reasonable, I agree. If we draw untapped land next turn, we can go Cobra into Rogue Refiner, potentially. Jeff, I noticed that game you struggled to hit your land drops. Do you want to port this deck to Hearthstone to avoid that problem in the future? That's the big brain line right there. Port the deck to Hearthstone to avoid that problem in the future. That's great. Come on, play a 2/3. Nesting Beast. Well, that's completely unreasonable. Man, just like the greed of people in this format knows no bounds. Just like the casual questing beast. And oh, you know what? I should have saved that fetch for the Lotus Cobra. I should have shocked in here. Just the questing beast in their collected company deck. I'm gonna attempt to double block questing beast here, given the option. I was hoping for a Lightning Helix, but yeah, it could be worse. Six, 6, 6, 6 is a chunky stat line. Nice Lovestruck Beast Archon of Ephemerate. When I'm playing a combo deck over here. Hey, look, chat. That's what I wanted for Christmas. Helix is very good. Speaking of very good. All right. Prepare yourself, opponent. The Ephemerates are gonna happen again. Yeah, two of those on rebound, chat. They need an Archon here to have a chance. And even then, they're probably still dead. But they need an Archon to have a chance. We definitely feel solidly favored in this matchup. Just big fish them hard. What will we blink? Probably Tolsimir, kill their Spellbinder, and Niv-Mizzet to draw some cards.
Down here, salt is a way of life.
Obviously, the environment down here is all salt. The ceiling's salt, the floor is salt, the walls are salt, and to an extent, the air is salt. And you breathe that in, and you can constantly taste the salt.
Waiting on the timeouts. 2.2 million views. How many of those are from the Magic community? A significant number. Was it good for you, opponent? It was good for me. Niv has looked at 30 cards this game. He sees a couple of cards. Couple 230. Dig deep, Niv-Mizzet. Yeah, I think this one's gonna have to make at least the fan favorite section of the website. It's real sweet. That's why you play 80 cards. You get to look through all of them, chat, find the good ones. Well, I couldn't attack with Niv that turn. I feel like he deserves to get the finishing blow. Yeah, no attacks is strictly optimal, because I could be representing Collecting Company, chat. I could have settled the wreckage. Yeah, we've not had issues casting our spells when we draw lands and spells. And honestly, it's a testament to the Attune with the Aether Hub Paradise Druid, right? Like we have a lot of really good fixing in this deck for sure. Run really smoothly for the second time in a row. I'd not seen that package leverage in 5-color Niv before, and it really feels like an elegant solution to casting. Yeah, it's very good deck building for sure. And Whirler Virtuoso's been no slouch either. This one's a little awkward. You technically cast these 3. We'll bottom the Helix, I suppose. Your hair is very cute, baby girl.
You like my new hairdo?
You mom at bath time? What do you think? You wanna come sit by me? Nice clean baby girl.
I can't see her hair.
Good. What do you think of her hair, champ? Oh, look how long it is. Got some crazy hair, don't care? Yeah. Who's that baby? He's a cutie. Hey, Shui, thank you for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah. Oh, who's cuddly?
To be fair, she's had more hair than Jeff for a while now.
She has had more hair than me for a little while. It's been a hot second. Love you too, wifey. Love you, baby girl. We just Whirler here. So this way, if they have spot removal spell, we can make a token and finish the Narset after they down ticket.
With thoughtfulness before action.
You can always have more facial hair than her. I do pass that checkbox, that's true. I imagine if she just took a bath, she probably hasn't napped yet today, so yeah, she'll probably be sleeping in a little bit. She usually sleeps pretty consistently about, sometime between 10 o'clock and noon. So, with Narset here, they get to pay the 2 mana cost on this and deny me the card draw still. Hey, Quasicotl, thank you for the 2 years. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning.
We still have much to learn. Prowess. You are a mighty.
I think we just cantrip this here. Trying to hit a land drop. I think we beat rogues last time we played this deck, if I recall correctly. We have a lot of cheap cards, like Helix, Klothys is good there. Things like Whirler Virtuoso are fine. So, like, obviously our more expensive top end, like Niv, isn't stellar against rogues, but, like, the actual curve of this deck, if you look at it, isn't too chunky. Like, we're not like the super greedy Niv decks where, like, our curve is expensive on top of the Niv. Now, the opponent looks to be playing, there was a player who, I'm blanking on his name, the recent championship winner, Arnie, I think, played a blue-black control deck to a 6-2 finish in the recent 5K. Arnie, yeah, okay, good, I did remember his name. Yeah, so if you're looking for a list similar to what obviously might not be the exact list, but if you look on the most recent Insight Esports 5K, on Melee over the weekend, there was a list that went 6-2. Those blue-black control looked pretty reasonable. And Arnie's channel, he streamed his event all day, so if he has past broadcasts enabled, you can check there. See it in action. George Trackle, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel this morning. Yeah, I'm technically not holding Helix up here. So that could matter. If they play Narset, it would be nice to be able to Helix her at end of turn. Hansel Maniac. Good morning, good morning.
Focus and discipline. Encounter no. Keep an open mind.
I don't know. The opponent doesn't really have enough mana to, like, leverage as Ganta and other things right now. I don't know, I really feel like Marvel's an effect that I want. We also don't produce energy consistently enough to trigger Marvel in this deck. I did see a sweet Marvel deck on Twitter. Brennan DeCandio posted it. It was a Magma Opus Torrential Gear Hulk Marvel deck that looked pretty sweet. Marvel gets to play Brainstorm in this format too, which is kind of gassed. Either today or tomorrow, we'll be finishing up everything that I've had in my deck queue, and then I'll start putting in some stuff like that. This is for the follow Black Knight. Opponent taps off of a counter spell, getting to Niv-Mizzet here would be huge. Which they might need to, they're getting low. They might just Fatal Push the Druid. I don't think I can play around a third drown. It would be the fourth drown in the lock. I could have memory lapse too, but like with the commit in hand, this is my best chance to resolve this. So I definitely think I want to jam here. Are you actually finishing deck queue, or is that just a challenge to Hoaglandia Whales? I mean, it's a little bit of both. I think there's a chance we genuinely get the deck queue to about 0. I imagine I'll still get like 1 or 2 deck submissions a day, but if I plan to play 3 things a day or more, that means I'll end up getting to put a few things in myself still. And then we want to Niv-Mizzet here to force the commit so that way they can't activate Azcanta. Think any of the new commands would fit in this deck? No, that's why we're not playing many. You consider the 1 CMC uncounterable elf? Yeah, maybe. If you think the counterspell matchups are hard, I can see that, but I don't know that I'm convinced that they're hard offhand. One of the things to look at about this mana base too is we're playing a couple copies of Ancient Ziggurat, so outside of Lightning Helix, we don't have a lot of non-creature spells. I think I gotta shuffle this Niv, right? And cast this. As much as that hurts a little bit. Mini SC. Good morning, good morning. Ten mana here. They're not dead yet. If I recall, the only sweeper Arnie's list was playing in the main deck was the -3/-3 Yeheni's Expertise. So, Lucrinos sounds fine. Klothys is great. Honestly, I don't have that much to change here. Feels like our value focused main deck plan's pretty good. Hostage Taker and Tolsimir are pretty bad. Yeah, Campbell's fine. Do I want, like, some Elite Guardmage? instead of like some of the Helix. You want to cut my Yorions? Yeah, I guess that's fair. They probably keep my board pretty small, right? Do that. Some Helix to finish off Narsets is fine. The random reach can also be good. I prefer black not having Damnation. I wish they wouldn't have put Wrath of God in the format to begin with, but we can't put that genie back in the bottle. I'd just punt those matchups. I don't really count Gruul as a go wide. I don't think Gruul is a matchup that you punt. I think Goblins and Elves are probably hard for red white, and I just wouldn't worry about those. Honestly, I think I bottom the Helix here and just keep my lands and my spells. If they have Narset on exactly 3, I'm sad that I bottom the Helix, but a nice draw. Give us some play against Narset. Yeah, that's largely been my experience too, Pierogi. Angels, Goblins, and Elves aren't decks you really see common play on the best of 3 ladder. Millennium 6. I agree the Gruul matchup and honestly this is how a lot of the fair matchups feel. The Gruul matchup basically comes down to did they draw Embercleave? Just how that cookie crumbles. Feels like the games they don't draw cleave, you're usually okay, and the ones that they do, you get got. Cleave is pretty good, chap. It's funny that they have to cling leaving cards in my graveyard because otherwise their Drown and the Locks get much worse. That's why they cling to themselves. Man, if they don't have a land here, we get to stick Niv-Mizzet.
Meditate and prepare.
I guess they could Thought Seize. Perhaps. YOLO. Narset stops me from drawing, you say. Don't Mystic Dispute me. 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 Have a heart. Have a heart. No! Mystic Dispute. Why? All right. Whew. Wow, only a draw 3. Is this card even playable? Oh, they're gonna memory me. Sure.
I have just the trick.
Yeah, I should think about that. Please concede.
thoughtfulness before action.
Niv is dummy thick. Getting Aether Gusted?
This is overwhelming.
I'm gonna put them to 4, so this way I have 2 lethal attackers next turn. There's the dispute. I'm so excited about potentially resolving Niv. I want that memory. I missed the memory.
If you wish to see
Hey, Sightseer, thanks for the half year. Welcome back. So opponent's not dead on board because they have Cling to Dust. Need to top deck a Niv here. Updated variation of that Roxer, but yeah, same base idea. Okay, how good are these 3 cards? I guess I get like 4 because I get to cantrip this, but like if they're cantripping this, they're not getting life with it. Yeah, being able to tag Ascant at this point is valuable. Niv! Pretty good one. Means they need Cling plus something else. See why we left a couple of these in. Man, when they do the draw 7 and then die anyways. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Be gone, wizard. You have no power here. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Bring to Light Niv has the ability to be competitive in this format. I bet Elves is hard for us as constructed. We're not really playing any sweepers in our deck. And we don't have much spot removal, and our linear game plan isn't particularly good. And again, honestly, you know, someone was talking about making the red-white mid-range deck better against elves earlier. I don't think elves is popular enough to metagame against. I think putting Deafening Clarion in my Paradise Druid deck and deck full of other small creatures is just not a winning play. You have to accept in a format like Historic that you're gonna have matchups that are bad. In a tournament, you could play it out and try and get lucky. On the ladder, I'm just gonna move to the next one. So it's finally happened, chat. I need to put a gate at the bottom of my stairs because Haley has discovered she can ascend the stairs of her own power. It's a brave new world. Laturi. So they're the Tainted Pack deck. They've got the Taint. This is a matchup that, like, this matchup, for example, might be one that's worth making small changes for, because something like Dovin's Veto is a card that would be playable for us in other matchups and doesn't have strong anti-synergy with the rest of our deck. XM, thanks for the 5 months. Welcome back. I appreciate the prime. I would bet this matchup is tough as constructed though, but this would be an example of, okay, I think we could move the needle on this matchup by playing cards that are reasonable in other places. Because like a card I'd be adding for this matchup wouldn't be narrow and it wouldn't kill our board, right? For people that aren't familiar with the opponent's archetype, what the Tainted Twin combo deck is looking to do is they cast Tainted Pact to deck themselves, and then they win the game with Thassa's Oracle. Only on this channel can you get adorable baby moments followed by tape jokes. I try. Our range is wide here. Is there a reason you say Laturi instead of Lutri? Yeah, because I'm mildly dyslexic, and when I read names at a glance, they stick in my head. And these are all made-up card names, and it doesn't matter. When I say Laturi, you know exactly what I mean. Might be right to lead on this, because they might have to counter this just because it's a 4/5. This would be like a 4/5 that comes with another 1/1 basically. If these were like real words, I'd make an effort to pronounce the real words correctly after reading them incorrectly the first time, but like, chat, this is an elemental otter casting a ball of magical lightning. I promise you this card's not going to get offended by me calling it Laturi. Skillfully played around the Inquisition by playing out our cheap cards last turn.
Mind.
If I send these here, this puts them to 10. And then Yorion is lethal next turn. And this is, you know, in the games where the opponent's combo deck doesn't naturally draw their combo, we're probably pretty far ahead. I would venture to guess. Blink that to make some power for the power plant. We've got the power. Woohoo! Discreet, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Actually, Grixis is pronounced missing blue sources. Grixis is pronounced missing blue sources. Yeah, Redain's great. Redain is no Godok Teague, but like, I'll take her. She's definitely the best we've got. Yeah, a couple of vetoes in the sideboard might be reasonable. Like, honestly, there's been so little Jund sacrifice, and the rest of our decks probably got enough play against Jund sac that I probably don't need these. I can see Hound being vetoes as well. Got a Godok Teague. Sir Teaglesworth would be great for this deck. He is a heck of a magic card. Got a little chicken noodle soup for the soul, so we're gonna go ahead and keep it. Teague is not historic legal. If Teague was historic legal, we'd be playing him. Sir Teaglesworth and I go way back, chat. If I could register Godok Teague, we'd be registering him. Alright, so they have a piece of spot removal here. They pass with counter magic up here. We probably play Whirler Virtuoso. If they combo kill us, we top right and go to the next game. So again, for people that aren't familiar, the Oracle comes into play. They respond to its trigger with Tainted Pack. We lose the game. Outside of our Meddling Mages, our deck does not currently have counterplay against that. How do you feel about skews in this format? I'm doing some brewing and iffy on it because it's in a 3-color deck. Ooze is fine. It's fine against like the fair graveyard decks. It's a little slow and other things against the faster deck. When they run out of time, it decks them here, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure when their timer runs out, it loses them the game. Yay! Magic Arena! Yay! We did it! We did it! We did it! Hooray! Magic. The Gathering. I kind of feel bad because if there was a pack, if they had the Oracle in hand, they were gonna turn 3 us there. We should probably put. I mean, there's no guarantee we were gonna lose. If it was like guaranteed to lose, they packed to 1 and then Oracle. Yeah, but there's no guarantee. Like we don't know that they have Oracle in their hand. They didn't mill it. Well, I didn't know that until the very end, chat. And by that time, that already happened. Come on now. Guy, I think I want to put a few veto in the sideboard. For that matchup and the control matchup. No, they were doing that on my turn. So on their turn 2, they had Tainted Pack and Oracle in their opening hand. And they can win on turn 3 with Tainted Pack and Oracle in their opening hand. So they Tainted Pack turn 2, put themselves to 1 card in deck, draw that card on their turn, cast Oracle, win the game. Hey, Assassin. Thank you for the 17 months. Welcome back. That's super scummy, Sailories. Hello, oldest son. Where's your phone? Call your phone. Where'd you put it?
I don't know, the moon.
The moon? I don't know if it's gonna get reception all the way up there.
Just call it. I just go.
Okay. Because you're joking, I'll give it a ring. Is your sister sleeping? Is Haley napping? She's not napping? Okay. Last time you came down and asked me to ring your phone, your sister was sleeping and it woke her up, so.
Mom?
Alright, it's playing a sound. Go find it. The long distance charges the moon are going to be terrible. Yep. One of these things is not like the other. Haley wakes up sometime between like 5:30 and 7, and usually she goes to sleep. She goes to sleep for her nap between 10 a.m. and noon. Really? They took a Paradise Druid? Are they rogues? If they're rogues, they could just be planning to counter or kill anything I might want to blink. You have not missed Bant GCG. We're playing Aggro Scape Shift after this one. And is Bant after that? I forget. We might get to Bant, the Bant deck today. May or may not. Growth Chamber Guardian. aggro scrape shift has to be a phrase never said out loud before. That's not true at all. I top-8'd a couple of different modern tournaments with aggro scape shift back in the day in that format. Thank you very much. If they want to murder my thing here, they need to do it before I can ephemerate. Come on, payoff. Come on, payoff. All right, so we're dead. We'd have hit a Niv or something there that we could blink for value with the Ephemerate. We'd have been in a pretty good spot, but... Oh. Oh, they're bricking. Okay. Mastermind. Thanks for sticking on. There goes Niv. This is where the magic happens, chat. I don't think this matchup's terrible, but definitely terrible. Maybe I'm supposed to attack last turn and trade these. Probably doesn't matter. I think we're just dead. There's a good chance our window to resolve spells this game has passed. Hey, what's going on, Bob? There is not an established Aetherworks Marvel deck in this format. However, there are people that are still brewing around. No, it's actually been super reasonable, Bob. I think I'm gonna have my art guy do up a banner to throw out on the website. It's been good when we draw lands and spells as an accurate summary. That doesn't always happen, but when it does, it's been good. We want to drag our curve down here a touch. Started using Public to try and get into the stock market. It's been very user-friendly for beginners, solid shell, sweet. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, Public is just as good as all. There's a few different of the investing apps that you can use on mobile these days. And they do message boards on top of everything else, but the actual interface, even if you don't want to use the message boards, is very, very good. Egon, thanks for the follow. Yeah, I mean, there are people playing Marvel. So again, that's one of the things that's great about a format like this. When I talk about a deck not being established, that doesn't mean you're never going to play against it. It just means when you look at the average tournament results, or if you look at a metagame breakdown, it means like you're probably not going to see it there. Non-rotating Magic formats have a lot of people just registering cards that they like playing, because that's just how these formats work. They're gas. Let's see if they pass with the memory lapse up here or not. If they pass with lapse up, I'm going to play one of these. They're not going to have lapse up. I'm going to play this if we don't get thought seized. Klothys is very good in this matchup. I've been saying that Historic feels like Modern when Modern was good. I don't really want to do predict gambling on the channel because it would accelerate people potentially to Shillionaire. I want Shillionaire to be a status that means people spent a lot of time watching my content. Oh, you know what? They showed us Aether God. They showed us Dispute. I should play the land first. So that way I can pay for Dispute, right? And then this is only my second card going to my bin, so I get to play Klothys here, and they still can't drown her, which is great. Klothys can swim! The pool's not that deep, chat. Have a heart. Great, they got the snake, but snake's getting Klothys back into play here. It is a little bit sad that YouTube doesn't integrate with shillings. Digo, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. Exile cards out of our own graveyard here to make my opponent's copies of Drown in the Loch worse. Fish Gumbo, thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a ton of great people you can send that to every single month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending it this way this month. Do I want to play Paradise Druid this turn? I think so. So I'm going to fetch in response here. Oh, you know what? This is technically bad sequencing. I should have probably fetched first or not tapped this. Because now I technically can't cast Niv with the 5 lands that I have. Well, I can't cast this either, huh? I guess Klothys, or Klothys only makes green and red mana. I guess this makes black mana. Oh, if I would have played the World Tree, I wouldn't have had to tap Paradise Druid, right? Yeah, that was a mistake. Alright, Klothys versus into the story. Who will win? Untapped land here lets us Yorion, which is nice. Oh, I can Yorion with Klothys, right? So I think Guido blocks here. I will not diamond hand this pathetic excuse for currency get with the real royalty. God bless. Morning Interpreter. Klothys is keeping our life total high. We're a Yorion deck, so our deck size is nice and thick to start. So we got 57 cards in there, so our opponent got to resolve it into the story, but we're sitting in an okay-ish spot here still, which is nice. So Blue Cactus, it's felt very reasonable again. It's gonna be one of the decks that has a debut on my updated deck list pages, which will hopefully get done the next week or so as time permits. My graphics guy got me a bunch of banners today. I'm gonna send him a list of some more. Got me a bunch of banners yesterday. I'm gonna send him a list for some more today. Does good work. I'm gonna take Yorion out back and drown him in the lock. Yeah. Alright, they milled 2 bricks for us. It's another brick. And another one. I feel like if they had another Thought Thief, they would have played it. So I'm going to attack in here with the Paradise Druid. They need an Aether Gust to take Klothys off the table here. Wonder how many of those they're playing. They've already put one. Already used one of them. This takes 11 total mana to activate. Yeah, Klothys is just a very good card in this format in general. Arnie's Rogues list was only playing 2 Gusts. Yeah, I think two's probably close to the ceiling. That effect. Now they could play Luris here as a blocker. Yeah. We have we seen any helixes yet this game? They milled any helixes? If not, so got 4 of those to draw 2 as well. Any action spell, please. Well, I should play the second Klothys out now, right? I should force the trades here, right? There's no reason to give them options. What does second Klothys do? It puts the first one in the graveyard. I'm gonna end the story looking for their second Aether Gust here. You have 35 cards in their deck. Combat Thief, yep. Man, where was that Niv-Mizzet last turn, chap? Hopefully they're just dead next turn. Please concede. Honestly, there's a good chance we should be playing 4 of this card. Love it. Love it. I think I'm happy with how I board him. Do I want less mana? Maybe I want less mana and more action. Hydroid Krasis is a decent bomb diggity, especially on the play. Gumbo, I don't remember if I said thank you for your Prime. I've been missing some notifications. Thanks for that, if I missed it. And if I didn't miss it, thanks again. It's fine. Fetch is land. His land is your land. His land is my land. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I think my opponent misclicked their chat. Go ahead and fetch now. Before they mill like my solo mountain. Red solo mountain. Gonna cast Niv-Mizzet. It's a party. It's a 5-drop. Bye, friends. Esterone, thank you for the 20 months. Welcome back. See, I mean, if this deputy isn't able to swim, we're gonna have a bad time here. Oh, please draw your Luris. Please draw your Luris. Rough. Yeah, I don't know. We're really gonna have a shot this game. Opponent bolted in that land, so I assume whatever I cast here is getting memory lapse, or it's gonna get run out of the story. I guess this technically doesn't matter, huh? And they can just safely ignore it, because they're gonna kill us in 2 in the air. Yeah. Probably was supposed to YOLO the hostage taker. I assume with the bolt they had an answer and it didn't matter, but my play was definitely wrong. They have no reason to answer this. And then get got by something the following turn. That was the wrong button. This one. Yeah, this felt pretty reasonable again. I know we died in that last one, but you can't win all of them. I think my one last change I kind of want here is a 4th copy of Klothys in the 75. This card's so good. Honestly, with the way that Rogues matchup played out too, it makes me think I might want an extra Pelucranos in the 75 and the 95 too. 75, ye of tiny decks. Klothys hedges the Rogues matchup too a little bit. I don't know, I think we're probably behind in that matchup, even with the extra Poly K, and this is better in other spots. And like sometimes like in that second game, you can get them. I think that's again one of those matchups where, especially in the closed deck list setting like the ladder, they have a little bit of an advantage, but if it's an open setting, you could mulligan more appropriately, it would be better. So I was pretty happy with the mana. The Helixes in the main deck. The main deck felt super reasonable. It's just a good card in general. You know, in the control matchups, it picks off things like Narset. In the aggro matchups, it helps you stay alive. Yeah, I really hope they address the sideboard interface here sometime soon. It's a real mess in terms of looking at what you have in there. It's also a real pain. I really loved that you used to be able to like click +1 over here to like add a second copy of it, and it's annoying not being able to do that anymore. I'm gonna try Gilded Goose. I don't really like the sound of Gilded Goose, if I'm being honest. I feel like we have enough mana in the deck between Attune and these, and I feel like Goose is probably worse than the other Druids and Cobras that we're already playing. So, we're not playing Clarion not because we can't cast it. We could definitely cast Deafening Clarion. We're not playing Clarion because my deck's playing things like Paradise Druid and Whirler Virtuoso and Rogue Refiner and Knight of Autumn. And the only matchups that I really want an effect like Clarion in are things like Elves, and I think the Elf matchup isn't really something that I'm worried about playing around. It's okay to have bad matchups in a format like this. Not all of your matchups, especially when you're playing, tier 2 deck like this, a brew, are gonna be, 50% matchups. So yeah, okay, I think I'm pretty happy with this. I think this will probably be the list we threw up on the site to start. Feels very reasonable and consistent. Mana especially feels real good. Getting to 3 ahead of time is better, I guess. Like, the problem with like Goose is that it's less consistent fixing. It only fixes your mana basically every other turn if you're not making